Hey, what's up guys? Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Thanks for joining me today. Before we get started, if you are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead, jump down, hit that red subscribe button, become a subscriber of the channel where we are constantly putting out videos on backpacking, gear, everyday carry items, flashlights, which happens to be the topic of discussion today, the Thrunite TC15. Now this light happens to be powered by an 18650 battery, and it's got a pretty small form factor to it, which is pretty cool. But what I really want to do is have a discussion about this light compared to other flashlights that are powered by an 18650 that I have experience with. And over my testing of this light in the past several weeks, close to about almost 2 months that I've had it now, what has my experience been with it? So here we are guys, taking a look at the Thrunite TC15, kind of a close-up look here. Like I said before, this is powered by an 18650 battery, and you've just got the tail switch that comes off. 3100 milliamp, this is the battery that's included when you purchase it. A couple of things that are important to note about the design of the TC15. First and foremost is you don't have a tail switch operated flashlight. You have just the one single side switch. One press turns it on, and it's going to go to your memory mode, and we can go ahead and talk about the different modes here. But all I'm going to do is push and hold to cycle through low, medium, and high. Your low mode, which you see here, is going to give you 25 lumens. Your medium here is going to give you 250 lumens, and then your high, there we go, at 1050 lumens. Now this does have a turbo mode, and this is what makes the flashlight pretty enticing actually, is you've got 2300 lumens of total output on this. However, I want to get into this discussion about lumens and do a comparison with the other flashlights that I've got here to compare to this. But if I double click, then that's going to give me that 2300 lumens, and after a certain period of time it's going to drop down to just over 800 lumens so that it doesn't overheat. Now this does have a total distance of 246 meters, and the intensity rating that they give it, that candela power, is just over 15,000 at 15,200 candela on that 2300 lumens. So that's a lot of output, and 246 meters, this thing will really launch that beam of light a long distance. So then just a couple other important things about the design and just the body of the flashlight in general before we move on to more of the specs and comparison and a little bit more of a theory discussion. Is you've got pretty cool knurling design here on the body, which obviously gives you good grip on the light. You don't have any kind of a tactical bezel compared to the this is the Fenix PD35 tactical, but you don't have, it's just a flat bezel. What I do like about this light though is you've got this rubber ring right here, and this obviously is going to be a micro USB input, so I can recharge the battery directly from the flashlight itself, which is a huge selling point for me. It's something that I really appreciate seeing on a flashlight of this nature. Now, the type of user of this flashlight, why would you purchase this? Is this an everyday carry light? Is it an emergency light? What's the purpose? And for me, I don't like to carry 18650 sized flashlights in my pocket. They're just too big, they're too long, and when it comes to lumen output, I'm genuinely not concerned about the total number of lumens that I carry in my pocket, as long as I've got something reliable. And the reason that I talk about that is the Fenix PD25 is a light that I carry in my pocket almost every day. Sometimes I carry the Olight H2R baton, but the point is that lumens aren't the end-all be-all for a flashlight being a great piece of equipment. It needs to be functional, and it needs to accomplish your need for the activity that you are doing. And so I'm going to throw the TC15 into the pile of good lights for emergency use, to have in your car, to have in a bug out bag, something that is going to be reliable, easy to to operate, it's functional, just fits all of those boxes and check marks of things that you would need for emergency and survival kind of situations, bug out kind of things. And that's where I think that this flashlight is sufficient, as well as just having in the house for when the power is out, because I can stand the light up on its end and it's going to work really well for any of those kind of applications. Don't think it's a great everyday carry light. Now, if I'm comparing this to other lights here, I've got, in this case, 4 different lights. The question for me is, how do these lights compare to the TC15 in their use and their output and those kinds of things? Because for me, like I said earlier, lumens are not the end-all be-all of a flashlight being the determining factor of whether or not it's a functional light. Because as we know, not all lights are created equal. They all have different design features to them, and they're all different in their particular use and what they are designed to be used for. For example, the Olight H2R Nova is designed to be a headlamp, and so the lens that you've got here on the light is going to be much different than the lens you've got here on the TC15. So if you're saying that, well, this Olight is 2300 lumens, and which it is, and you've got 2300 lumens out of the TC15, oh, they're the same light. No, not at all. They are powered by the same battery. In fact, all of these, except for the PD25, have an 18650 in them. But the Olight is going to be a different design. It's got a different placement of the lens for the light output to come out of. And so you've got a headlamp attachment that comes with this light, and it's a different use than you've got with the TC15. How does it compare to the PD35 Tactical? Well, you've got a tail switch in this case on the PD35, and you've got 1000 lumens of output versus 2300 lumens, or on high, 1050 lumens out of the TC15. But again, this has more features and functions to it, where I've got the ability to go between a tactical mode and outdoor mode, and so depending on my use, this is going to be, in a lot of ways, a more functional light for me for different applications. So it's a more versatile, more universal style of light than I think the TC15 is. Now compare the Nitecore MH23 to the TC15, or to any of these, and you've got a totally different style of light. This is, in essence, a mini spotlight. 1800 lumens, but the thing that separates this from the others here is, look at that really deep, wide lens that you've got here on the light, which allows for an amazing amount of light projection to come out of this. And 1800 lumens, that's a lot of output. And so even looking at the PD25 from Fenix, 550 lumens from a CR123 battery, this is a better flashlight for me to carry every day than any of these combined because of its form factor for me personally. But is the TC15 going to be a better light than this for everyday carry? It really just comes down to your personal preference, and there's so many different factors that are accounted in this discussion because every light is so different. But it's good to compare the lights here because then you're understanding the application of each individual light, and you can say, yeah, for the price, the Thrunite TC15 is kind of a budget focused style of a light. Really is a great light compared to the $100 or ish for the PD35, pretty high cost for the H2R Nova, and just a really specific type of use out of the MH23, and then a fairly low cost but different style of approach with the PD25. And there's tons of other different flashlights out there. So what I'm getting at is that you just need to do your research and really understand the differences between the various lights. But when it comes to just simple function and having something that is fairly low cost, isn't going to blow your budget, comes with a good battery, ability to recharge in the body itself, and I've got the ability to double click at any time to get that high mode, double click again to get strobe, push and hold for firefly, which you can't see, but it is on. You've just got a simple basic light here that has a lot of output. So if lumens really are the most important thing to you, then 2300 lumens for this light is a really good deal. But I want to talk about the lumen thing here a little bit more, and I did a comparison with this light compared to these other 3 lights right here, and if I'm being quite honest, like, the Fenix is just as bright as the 2300 lumens out of the TC15. And it doesn't throw as much as the MH23, and just the style of the lens here on the H2R Nova, you get more of a flood out of this as opposed to like a strong beam of distance. I don't know, like, saying that 2300 lumens is this amazing amount of output, I really honestly don't see that big of a difference between 1000 lumens and 2300 lumens. And even, well, I shouldn't really say this because this is such a unique light in the type of lens that it has, but that's my point, is lumens shouldn't necessarily be your decision factor on whether or not you purchase a light. Focus on the function, what is it going to be good for, and does it work with the style of light that I am looking for in its operation. So now that we've got the comparison of the light kind of taken care of here, just a couple other things about the TC15. Personally, I am the kind of person that really enjoys having a tail switch operated flashlight. It's a more functional kind of operation for me, but I do like the ability to stand this up on its end. That is a great thing. But a couple other items about this. The pocket clip, pretty standard. It's got good retention to it. I don't have the ability to flip it different directions. But again, that's not that big of a deal to me. It is IPX8 waterproof rated, and it does have an impact resistance of 1.5 meters. I do also have the ability to use the included lanyard, or which would attach to this point here, or the belt holster that comes with it that I don't have here to show you. But one other thing that's interesting about this that I think is really cool is you do have a battery indicator light here. So if the light is anywhere between about 20% to 100% of battery life, it's going to have a blue indicator. If it's below 20%, it's going to be red, and if you are just about dead, it's going to be flashing red. So pretty cool to see that in a fairly low-cost, budget-friendly flashlight, to have that kind of thing where you've got battery indicator to let you know where your battery life is at. So that's the TC15, guys, compared to some other 18650 battery-powered lights. I think it's a great light. Not my favorite. I think there's other better options out there, but for the cost, it does the job. It's good enough. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, share with your friends. We'll catch you on the next video. Have an awesome day.